Today's episode of RGR TV, we have ShiGGa Shay in the building.
Six five. Yeah. It's it.
For the first question, right, today is who's your earliest inspiration?
Earliest inspiration. I think the first rapper was Eminem. Then it moved on to like Dr. Dre, Snoop, Jay-Z, Nas, Pac, Biggie, everybody in the East Coast, everybody in the West Coast, and all that. All jammed up together.
So, who would you say your favorite is? Like of like everyone?
Of all time?
Yeah, of all time.
Well, that's very hard to say, man. That's really very hard to say. But like, the rapper that made me want to rap was Eminem. But
still relevant now.
Still relevant
very
now,
much.
yeah. In a very different way, though. When I got caught on with his music, it was in 2001. It was like during the Eminem show, Without Me, cleaning out my closet. That point of time, and when he was like, I don't give a f- about you, that kind of world kind of music.
Yeah.
That was what really.
Yeah. So okay. Then secondly, I'll ask you is what is a typical ShiGGa Shay day like?
A typical ShiGGa Shay day would vary depending on whether there's a show, whether there's an event, or whether there's a function or whatever. But usually it's a lot of writing, a lot of recording is more like I have certain dates where I go into the studio. But if I'm not in the studio, then I'll be at home recording in my own setup, like the more simple setup, and just rapping a lot, man. A lot of rapping.
So do you think that do you enjoy it more in the studio or like outperforming live? Like, what's the difference? Do you feel happier doing which?
They both give you different senses of satisfaction in a very different way. Like in the studio, it's more like you get to create something, and that process of creating something is really it's really what do you call that? You get to project a lot of your emotions that you don't get to say on an everyday basis. And you get to create a product or create an art piece that is a very, very strong form of your own expression. But when you perform live, it's like a lot of you feed from the energy of the crowd. There's a lot of interaction. You get to see people, how they relate to your music, whether they sing along, whether they know the words to the song, or you get to interact with the people that your music touches. So it's a very different thing.
Well, will you say that it comes hand in hand?
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
Yeah,
it's like
live performance boosts your studio performance.
Yeah. It's like you. I'm trying to find a good analogy for it, but like you gotta have what's that? The beef patty and your cheeseburger. Nobody's gonna ask for a cheeseburger with no patty,
Yeah, everything around it builds up the original brand.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are you currently working on?
What am I currently working on? I'm working on a mixtape. I'm working on an album. I'm working on an EP. Just working on a whole bunch of music.
Is it like a solo or like a collaboration?
Solo.
Yeah,
solo.
Okay, so just a couple months ago, right, you repped Singapore to perform at the White House State Dinner After Party. So tell us a bit about that experience.
That was pretty crazy, man. That was a crazy experience. Ambassador Cook, he hooked it up. Then I got to know that I was flying to DC like only 2 weeks before I was going to DC.
Oh,
yeah. So it was a very last minute thing. I didn't really expect to actually be going until I got there. Then I was like, oh, I'm in DC. Then the club that I performed at was Club Sax. It's one of the nicer clubs in DC. It's a beautiful club. It's like performing to a crowd of politicians and just very, very influential people. So it's different from like performing to people that like your music or a hip hop crowd.
Yeah. Do you feel like stressful, like especially when you know that they might not be audience of this genre?
They were audience of this genre actually. Yeah, a lot of them enjoyed hip hop a lot, but it's just they're not the typical hip hop crowd. They're not young.
And not rowdy also.
They're not rowdy.
More
They're
like
like all in
class.
suits. Yeah, suits and champagne glasses and like just fancy stuff and But they all understood and enjoyed hip hop because hip hop came from there, and DC is most people in DC they know what's up with hip hop. Yeah.
Do you make them do the when I say hey you say ho, something like that?
A little bit of that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so cool, man. Like everybody in that posh setting and all. Yeah,
it was dope.
Okay, a lot of us are rapping and also seeing your 65 King merch. So can you tell us more about that?
65 King is not a merch. It's not merchandise. It's a clothing line. It's a brand new clothing line that I'm working on. It's I mean, I'm behind it, but like it's not really something that's closely associated with the ShiGGa Shay brand. It's more like a clothing line that I'm working on and starting out separate from everything else. It's basically the idea that everybody coming from Lion City 65 can be a king or queen. It's the idea that although we come from a small city, I want everybody in this city to be able to believe in themselves and just break that boundary, and that's the whole idea behind the brand 65 King. 65 King is not myself, it's basically the energy and the spirit behind Singaporeans, and I feel that all Singaporeans should believe in. Yeah.
Are you the only one managing it, or is like someone else helping you?
I got a business partner. Yeah.
Oh, but then what about like the designs and all?
We're working with a couple of designers, but like I oversee with my partner like the designs. So we work with different designers on all the way down to the fabric and the material that we use, and to like the functionality of that particular wardrobe. Like we focus a lot on comfort. Comfort and basically look good while being simple. Like not too much. Yeah.
So like other than caps, because so far we saw the caps.
Yeah.
What is like the next thing that if you can review it?
We're doing some t-shirts. We're doing some hoodies. We're doing rings. We got rings too.
Yeah.
65 King.
65 King ring. Yeah. So when is like the expected? You can like purchase it for the general public.
General public wise, probably next year. Yeah. Somewhere next year. I don't know what the date is yet, but it will definitely be available next year for purchase to the public. Yeah.
Okay. So what are your thoughts on the current hip hop scene? Like, how can we compare the local scene to the international scene? And if like an artist were to ask you like, how can we like move towards like making it right? What would your advice be?
I think hip hop in Singapore is very it's at a very what do you call that? It's not mature enough yet. It's at a very young age, because Singapore itself is a very young country. So we lack a lot of people here lack the sense of identity. They don't know who they are. They don't know where they come from, because it's a young country to start with. And hip hop is borrowed culture. From America, from New York to be exact. But like, it's very different, because like hip hop in the States and hip hop in all these different countries like Thailand or even Malaysia or and everywhere else is like it's like in Thailand, hip hop is kind of like something that everybody knows because of what Titanium has done, and like in the States, you have so much. It's so rich in hip hop culture, like from turntablism to like graffiti to dance to MC. It's so strong. The pillars are so strong, and here I think there needs to be more people confident enough to just do what they like. If they want to rap, just rap. Like don't think twice. Just go for it. Yeah. Like I think we need to see more rappers.
Another thing I would like to ask you is, do you find the need to satisfy the audience or just create whatever you feel that is correct, that is like of a quality substance in your perspective, or do you feel the need to be like satisfy the audience, like commercialize?
I think it's about a balance. Doing what you love, and you cannot compromise too much of that, because like it kills your passion. So you got to do something that you're definitely comfortable putting out.
Yep.
And you got to put like it's got to retain the message that you want to get across. That's very important. That's the first thing that you need to have. If not, you wouldn't be able to sleep at night. You know, you don't compromise on your artistic integrity.
Yeah, but in a way that the crowd can still digest it, right?
Yeah. You can't like put it so high up where like nobody understands you. Then there wouldn't be a point. Then why are you putting out the music anyway? You want the people to understand what you're saying. You want the people to understand your message. So
yeah, well said, man. So any last things to tell your fans? Like, do you have any things you want to like?
Fans?
Like maybe new track, new merch, like coming soon.
I love my fans.
Or advices.
I love my fans. I think just believe in yourself, man. Like do whatever you want to do. Do what gets your passion going. Do what makes you excited, and don't let anybody tell you otherwise.
Well said. So this is RGR TV with ShiGGa Shay signing out.